Hi, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy the video. This is a 12 by 12 layout I did this weekend. It's a picture of my son and his dog, Sam, and it's a mixed media layout, I guess you could say. Most mine are these days. And I'm just starting with some clear gesso on the page, but you'll notice the blue marks through it. What happened was there's actually some paint on the end of the card I'm using to apply the gesso. So it reacted with the gesso itself and left some smudges. Doesn't bother me all that much. I think it adds to this layout, but note to self for future reference, if you do want clear gesso to stay clear, make sure your tools are clean. So yes, straight into the layout here. What I'm doing is I'm adding some colour with some blues distress inks. I've got Mermaid Lagoon, Salty Ocean, and Sapphire. No, not Sapphire. What's it called? Sketch. What's that one called? Sketch Print Blue. I think it's one of the new blue ones. Sorry, I can't read. The screen's only small. I do have tumbled glass, but I don't use it. And all I'm doing is just using them like paint pretty much and just mixing them together to make a bit of a background. I like the way that the ink pulls together. As you can see, that's why I wasn't too worried with the blue through the gesso. It just adds to the grungy look of this layout. Aha! It's blueprint sketch. See why I couldn't get it out? All the words were there, they were just in the wrong order. It's actually a really nice royal blue. I'm not usually a dark kind of colour person. I'm more brights, but I loved this colour. It looked really, really nice and went with the Mermaid Lagoon really well. I love it. So I'm just pulling the colour onto the layout. Lots of water to get that colour to move. And yeah, just painting until I'm happy pretty much. You may have noticed I haven't even cleaned my brush. I'm literally just mixing these colours till I'm happy. This takes the longest amount of time of my entire layout, but I really like how it turns out. I just really enjoyed doing it. It's a different technique with the same tools pretty much, and it just comes together really well. So just adding some Dilutions London Blue now and some more water and blending that in as well. And then adding some black splatters, because I add splatters to most things. I just think it looks great and ties the layout together. Just gives it a bit more contrast. And now just checking the placement of my photo. I do end up covering that one little tiny section of white there next to the photo. So out comes the ink again. Kind of silly really, because it does get covered, but you know, at the time I was just having fun making the paint and everything blend together. Now some more splatters in that London blue and then just drying it. And if you look really, really closely, I'm not sure how big your screen is, but I can see it because I know I did it. One of my black ink blots was not drying, so I got my heat gun on it, and I sort of kind of put my heat gun too close and actually started to singe my paper. See that little dot with the yellow around it? Yes. This is what happens when you put your heat gun too close to your paper, so let my mistake be your lesson. Don't put your heat gun too close to your paper. So now just matting my photo on some red cardstock. This is the same cardstock I'll use for the matting of the entire layout as well. I just cut a chunk out of the middle and mat my photo on that. I'm drawing the red from Will's t-shirt, but the reason I went with blue on with all the ink is because I love the contrast between the red and the blue, and I thought the colours go well together. Now, I think I said before, the photo is of my son and his dog, Sam. Will is my youngest son, And he named his puppy that he got off Santa for Christmas, he named him Sam after Fireman Sam. Will is a big Fireman Sam fan, loves anything fire engines. So, of course, when he got a puppy off Santa, he had to call him Sam. So I'm just getting my black Memento ink and running it along the white cardstock. I just like, it adds to the grunge. I really was going for a grungy look on this layout, a boyish, grungish look, and I think it just sort of highlights the white off the red and then does give it that rugged edge. And while I've got my ink out, I'm getting one of my stamps and just applying it randomly all over the page. This is a trick I learned watching Diane Raverly's videos. You get the stamp and you just move it around and sort of make it really flexible, so you get a different image each time you stamp. That's why I'm not using a block. I'm literally just picking up the stamp, dabbing it in the ink, and then just rolling it in bits and pieces, small sections of the stamp all over the layout. So now I'm working on my paper layers. I'm new to paper layers. Usually I map my photo once, maybe twice, and that's about it. But I'm trying to add more dimension to my layouts so they're not just all mixed media backgrounds and then my photos with a few embellishments. I'm trying to add to my layouts. And this is a Kaiser Craft collection. I love this collection. It's very boyish. I love the cards that come with a lot of these papers lately too. It's good for project lifers like myself. I don't actually end up using that It's a Boy Thing card, but I'm sure I will in the future. So yes, these papers are from Kaiser Crafts Off the Wall collection. Very boyish, very grungy. I love it. I have 2 boys, a husband and a dog, and 2 nephews. I'm surrounded by boys, so I love boy collections. And I tend to obviously scrap the boys in my life most often. So these kinds of papers come in really handy. I love using them. So the colours in this collection are, as you can see, blues and blacks, which goes with my layout perfectly. So all this fiddling around is me deciding what papers to use. I finally settled on that paper there. I have no idea what it's called. I forgot to look at that part. And I put a block of it behind my photo, and then I decided to get another piece and sort of make a banner, like banner ends behind it. You'll see what I mean in a minute. I have no idea how to describe it. And it just gives me a couple of layers behind my photo. So now just using this piece of paper here to cut those banner ends or fishtails or whatever you want to call them, and creating that second layer. Now just adhering it all together. Now I don't know about you, but the thing I hate most when I set a layout out on a piece of paper and not adhere it down is once I have all my layers and things where I like them, when I go to adhere them down, they're never where they were when I first started. Normally I'll take a photo or I'll find the easiest way possible so I don't have to move too much, because I can never put it back where I originally wanted it, which is why you see me doing things as very difficult as possible. But I just hate moving things and then layering them back one by one because they're never in the same place. So what I'm doing now, like I keep saying the word grunge, you must be sick of hearing it, but I'm just distressing the edge of this piece of paper, adding to the grunge look of the layout. So I'm just adding some silver thread that was sitting on my desk that I've been wanting to use, just to give it another layer of texture. And then, of course, I dropped my photo in the wrong place. Don't you love it? And pick up all that thread and have to put it all down again. But we get there in the end and everything is all adhered down and good to add embellishments, finally. So this is actually the next morning, as you can tell by the changing light. At the end of the afternoon, beautiful sunlight comes straight into my craft room. Early in the morning, not so much, so hence the big lighting difference. I never really, like I've said before, finish a layout in one go. Actually, I have been lately this weekend, but this layout wasn't one of those. Like I always say, 2 young boys, you scrap when you can, and yeah, finish it when you get the chance. So all I did was I went and found some embellishments and things that I thought I might like to use on the layout off camera, and then I'm just putting them together on the layout. I've got some wood veneer stars there. Stars always look great on boy layouts. This circle that says, the red circle that says love this, is actually from a Kaiser Craft back to school collection, and I happen to have that on my desk because I just project lifed my nephew's first day of school, and it was perfect, so I grabbed it and stuck it on. I love it when things work out like that. Just brings in that red a bit more from Will's shirt and the background cardstock. I'm just adhering down the wood veneer stars, and then I also have some, I think they're acetate stars as well, that I add as well, bringing some more of that red in. But right now I'm just putting my layout, nice and simple, Best Buds. These are probably my favourite thickers. I love these thickers. Sadly, this is my last packet, so I'm going to have to try and track some more down. No luck so far, but I love them. They're a chipboard. But my favourite part is these little chevrons or arrows or whatever you call them. I love those. I think they're fantastic to include with the thickers. It gives me another embellishment on the page. You'll see I use them in a minute. Using the lovely ruler technique for my title. This is probably the easiest way for me to get most of my letters straight. I'm getting a lot better at it. Just quick and easy way to get the title on there. And see, these are those arrows I was talking about. I love these things, especially on boy layouts when it's so hard to find embellishments because you can't use hearts or flowers or things like that. These are a great embellishment to add. And these are the acetate stars I was talking about. I've had these in my stash for a while, and I pull them out every now and then, and yeah, I go through and get the red ones out. And yeah, it just brings a bit more red to the layout, but not too much, so it overpowers the blue. Just a subtle little bit of red, very subtle, just to pop off that blue. So now I decide that I'd like to add a small tag up the top there to make a little cluster. Just adding a tag so I can add the date on. So I'm going through my bits and pieces. I color code most of my ephemera. I'm terrible when it comes to sorting out my stash. These are all color sorted in containers. I love these containers. But the newer embellishments and ephemera I get stay in their collections and packets for a little while. I dare say eventually I'll move them into the color coordination. Maybe. I don't know. I'm horrible with organizing. But so what I'm doing is I'm going through looking for a tag. I know what I want, I just can't find it. So in the end I end up making one. I just get a little tag just to stamp the date on. These are my awesome containers. I think they're iris containers. I brought these ones. I bought 2 off of Amazon actually. I finally found an Amazon seller that ships to Australia, which was awesome. Now, when I say I'm terrible at organising my stash, it's not that I don't like to. I love storage boxes and things like that. But I'm one of those people that just loves to keep things together nice and neat. but yet I have a really messy scrap desk. Go figure that one out. I love storage, but then I don't like to break collections up to put them in my lovely storage. There we go. That probably explains it properly. So this is that tag I made, rambling on about storage you missed, or you wouldn't have missed it, but I didn't tell you what I did. But I just made a little tag, not even really a tag, it's just a little journaling strip so I can stamp the date on, just to draw together that top cluster. Now just adding a little bit of journaling onto that journaling spot there, and then that's the layout. I do go around the fishtail banners with a black pen to make it stand out a little bit more, to emphasize it off camera. I think I did that once I turned the camera off and I realized I just want to make it stand out more. But that's it. That's the layout. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching. I hope you'll come back and watch some more. Bye.